interactions across the best schools of India, and we've touched around 20,000 teachers so far. We're going to be talking about Vivek's very favorite topic of finding success within today. As a quick introduction, my name is Atul Khosla. I'm the founder and Pro-Vice Chancellor of Shoolini University in Solan, Himachal Pradesh. I'm a BTech from IIT Kanpur, an MBA from Janarlal Bajaj, and then spent 20 years in the industry, 7 different countries, 35 different cities, multinationals like McKinsey and Company. And around 6 to 7 years back, the teaching bug hit me, and I decided not to make rich people richer anymore. So I decided to become a teacher, and I'm a very proud teacher, and that's why I'm here today. I'm also the Pro-Vice Chancellor of Shoolini, which means I also run all the academic programs of Shoolini. I'm delighted to welcome Vivek today on this webinar. Vivek is a very dear friend, ex-IAS officer, as all of you know, a TEDx speaker, motivational speaker, an author of 3 books, etc., etc., etc. Vivek, I won't speak more because we all know how famous you are. But I would like to say that Vivek is also a very dear friend and a professor at Shoolini University. So before we start, Vivek, Poonam ma'am, I'd love you to come up and introduce your school and give us some, cheer us up so that Vivek and I can live up to the expectation of a wonderful webinar.
Oh, well, I think task well begun is half done. So you've begun very well. And this is Ryan International School, Punjab region. And we start with Chandigarh, and we have Mohali, we have Patiala, Ludhiana, Dugri, Jalandhar, and Amritsar with us. So in all, I think we should have around 180 to 200 teachers joining this webinar today.
As we speak, ma'am, we have 250 speakers, 250 teachers right now. So that's
teachers. Wow. That's a
big
good
audience.
number, a heartening number, I must say. I'm quite happy. And I know Mr. Vivek Atray, as you said, ex-IAS officer, then a motivational speaker, an author, a writer, and so many facets, like the faces. And I'm very fortunate to know all those faces. Like I know him as an IAS officer. That's how we got introduced to each other at that time because of my school work and all. And then he would come to our school for talking to the children, addressing the teachers, and all these talks and addresses have been very, very, very motivating, enlightening, and productive and fruitful. Thank you so much, Mr. Vivek Atray, for that. And our school, as I said, Ryan International School has been there in the field of education for a very, very long time. And we are the pioneers in teaching with innovative methods. I can say that because I joined this institution 26 years back. So,
wow.
Yeah, so, I've seen the institution grow, and that's how we started. So I think over to Mr. Atray, we can start with the webinar then.
Absolutely. So Vivek, before you start, I'll request the teachers,
welcome, sir.
Welcome, of course. I'll request the teachers to please keep on writing your comments and asking questions. The more you write, the more you interact, the more energy we'll get, and we'd love to answer all your questions and queries. Vivek, over to you.
So I'm muting myself.
Sure. Thank you very much. I'm so delighted to be speaking to the Ryan family today, and thank you, Poonam ma'am, for inviting me to speak. In fact, Shoolini has been carrying out these webinars with many schools and institutions. It's a pleasure to be speaking to you and your teachers, colleagues, all the 5 or 7 schools that you mentioned. It's wonderful to see 267 already participants and about 72 comments on the chat already, which is unprecedented. Very happy to see all that. So if my connection seems fine and you can hear me properly, I'm going to start with my lecture. And I'm very happy to be speaking on success, but I must talk to teachers in light of their own profession and their own vocation and their own fears and worries and aspirations. So whatever I'm going to say is for general counseling as well as for specifically for teachers. I resigned from the IAS 2.5 years ago, and I became a motivational speaker. So I'm also a teacher in many ways nowadays, speaking every day in webinars, speaking every day in various other fora. Whenever lockdown is not there, traveling to various places to speak. And Shoolini University, before Atul asked me at the end, I must say, is my favorite campus. I go there and I go there regularly and I interact with bright students, which gives me a great deal of joy. I feel that inner joy, inner peace, inner happiness is actually what success is about. So we're talking about finding success within. I must tell you that there is no success without joy. If you are successful but not happy, then something is missing. Let us take the power, money, fame. Three things which are more relevant to materialistic pursuit, if I may put it that way. Three items of humankind which human beings chase a lot. So these are power, money, and fame. If we look at the most powerful man in the world, of course, nowadays Corona crisis has hit the world. He doesn't normally look happy. If you look at the most famous man in the world, could be anyone from Cristiano Ronaldo to Brad Pitt to any famous person who is very, very popular in the world. That fame and popularity will also go down at some stage. It cannot be permanent. And then we come to the third, which is money. Money is something which is to be looked down upon, actually, in many ways. Of course, we need money. Of course, we need to be comfortable. Of course, we need to have the resources that we want. But if you tell your children and students that money is the game and money is what will bring you success, then there is something wrong over there. So I have a formula which I'll give you right at the beginning and then we can move on. My formula is 3i minus m minus I. This 3i minus I minus m basically means that three I's which we should adopt in life are inspiration, innovation, and integrity. And the I that is to be minus is the I for ego. That means I, me, centered, self-centered. If we are like that, then ego is troubling us. Our own ego is bothering us. And we need to minimize that. And the minus M, you can take it as minus money, or you can take it as minus marks, whatever you like. And that is something also that you will find that if you take too much notice of how much wealth you have, or students take too much notice of how many marks they've got, then they are not looking at other aspects of life. So 3 I's to be added, 1 I to be minus, and 2 M's to be minus. Minus in the sense that don't give them that much importance. Yes, life is about marks for students, but I have a quote which is in my book as well. Life is not about marks. Life is about making a mark. Now I have 270 teachers watching. If you can tell your students that it is important to work hard, it is important to get good marks and succeed in getting admission to whatever colleges you're looking for and doing well in life, but it is more important to be a good human being, to be creative, to be innovative, to have integrity, and to be inspired. Because when you are inspired, then you have greater, better ideas, more creative lifestyles, and you are able to start making a mark in life. So you know that the backbencher has a good chance of making a mark in life. The front bencher also has a good chance of making a mark in life, and the middle benchers also. It doesn't depend on where you sit in class or how many marks you got. Of course, a topper will have an edge in life. Go to IIM Bangalore or Ahmedabad, go to IIT so-and-so, get into the IAS. He might be that sort of person or she might be that sort of candidate. However, ultimately, life is a bigger picture. And if you look at the bigger picture of life, then life and its successes are not to be measured in terms of how much power, money, fame you got. If you look at an example, let's take the example of the Ambanis. Now, the Ambanis, two brothers, and they go through stresses because they have so much wealth. It has to be equitably managed. It has to be also charity has to be part of it. It has to be crystallized and dynamically led forward to whatever investments they have to make. It is not easy. It is not something that gives them the feeling of being on a bed of roses. So it is said that uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. And the crown could be a crown of power, money, or fame. So what is important in life then? What is important is to enjoy your journey, to find success within you, to find peace and happiness in whatever you do. So I often give the example of a poor Golgappa man. It could be a poor rickshawala. It could be a person who is just, selling lassi or something like that. It is someone who finds joy in whatever he or she does, who is happier and more successful in my view. Who remembers today the richest man of 40 years ago or 80 years ago or 120 years ago? It doesn't really matter. Even Gandhi ji has faded compared to how popular and famous he was at one point of time in our memory today. We don't talk of Gandhi ji every day. Only Gandhians might. He remains so inspiring and relevant because of his greatness, because of his purity, because of his ways, non-violence, his fantastic leadership. However, with time, even his fame, popularity will go down. So where is success coming from? Success has to come from within. Success has to come from inside us. It has to come from inside our beings. Where is the battle of Kurukshetra fought? You might say battle of Kurukshetra is fought in Kurukshetra or was fought in Kurukshetra. Yes, of course. But that Kurukshetra is actually within us. And if you look at the spiritual aspects of life, then that battle is fought every day inside our minds and hearts. Any religion of the world will tell you that if you adopt goodness, if you think of God and you are God-centered and you are helping others, you are compassionate to others, you are leading a good-natured, helpful, religious, spiritual life, then you are winning the battle of Kurukshetra. You are the one who is winning the battle of Kurukshetra. So what is the battle of Kurukshetra? It is the battle of our bad tendencies versus our good tendencies. The Kauravas and Pandavas within us. Who is successful? The one whose good tendencies win the battle. The one whose happiness wins the battle. The one who gives joy to others. So being the most powerful man in the world, being the most authoritative man in the world, need not give you joy. Being respected and having a lot of goodwill and having people say good things behind your back may give you more success and happiness. These are things which may seem to you a little, let's say utopian, perfect. They might be seeming to you bookish. However, if you look at the really good, successful lives, you look at that person who has led a successful life, even a grandmother. Somebody recently passed away, a grandmother. And she has shared her joy with so many others. They remember her fondly, that Nanima, Dadima used to make achars and chutneys and whatever. She used to shower her love on her children. I call that a successful life. And if somebody is beaten the whole world and yet not given happiness to others because he's arrogant, he's atrocious in his behavior, he's not successful. So that is a very hopefully inspired beginning to this session with 277 people in the session. I also felt inspired to give my thoughts in that manner. Atul Khosla has some wonderful ideas for you and also a video which he would like to show you about Shoolini University, which is a beautiful inspirational campus, and Aman, a very fantastic student over there. Over to you, Atul.
Thank you, Vivek. As you were talking about your career and success, and there's a question, I think, from Kirti over here that she's asking, what would you do differently in your career? We'll come to that later, but I just like to mention one thing over here, Kirti. And I'm reminded of Confucius, the famous Chinese philosopher. He once said, choose a job you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life. So my belief, Vivek, is that finding the right tasks, the right skills, and having our students explore what they want to do is most important. Many times we end up becoming doctors or engineers because our parents pushed us towards this. And I think it worked in the late part of the 20th century or in the early parts of the 21st century. But in the world that we are today, there's an opportunity for everyone. There's an opportunity for someone who's really great in music. There's an opportunity for someone who's very good in theater, etc., etc., etc. The world is converging. But I really liked what you said is about inspiration. What we need is inspiration. And I wanted to share a very inspiring story, an inspiring story of a student of ours. Her name is Aman. Aman was a tough student. She was a difficult student. And all of you teachers know what I mean by that. In her undergrad and masters, Aman did not score well and she was a bit of a troubled child. She comes from a lesser privileged family in Punjab, and that was always at the back of her mind. But some magic happened when she started her doctoral, her PhD. I think 3-4 things happened. First, she worked with a very inspirational teacher. I think the more important thing, she found her belonging. She found a piece of work that really, really inspired her, and she pushed herself very, very hard. She worked on something called water, and we all know what water is. She's discovered a biomolecule, Vivek, which when added to water, kills bacterial activity by 99.9%. Who knows? She might change the way the world drinks water today. Who knows? She might even win the Nobel Prize. But she's won a lot of accolades. She's won the Young Water Fellowship, which is a very prestigious award. It's a UN award. More than 100,000 researchers across the world apply for this award every year. And she's also won a 25 lakh award from Tata Trust. So here's a story which inspires me every day. And there are many, many such stories at Shoolini, Vivek. You know, we are the largest patent filers in the country. Every year, our students file more than 200 patents. Just compare this with around 140 odd patents of IIT Chennai, which is number 2. And that's the power of inspiration, and that's how we can change lives. If you allow me, I'm going to play this small video. It's a 1.5 minute video, if you allow me, Vivek. So for all our teachers, Vivek, I'm going to just add one last thing before we get you back again. I think the 18th, 19th, and the 20th century were the time of knowledge. But knowledge doesn't lead to success, either materialistically or within anymore. What's going to lead to success going forward is how happy we are, how creative we are, and how inspiring we are. So to me, these are very, very critical. And that's why I wanted to share this video of Aman, because every time I watch this video, I get goose pimples. Vivek, over to you.
Thank you very much, Atul. This is a fantastic video, really inspiring. We'll see another one towards the end of this session. And since we are talking about success, Atul will be adding his inputs again later. I talked about that success comes from within, and it should give joy and happiness to yourself as well as others. I'll tell you a story to start the second part of the session with. So there is a boy who loses his left arm. Very young boy, loses his left arm, goes to judo master and tells the judo teacher or judo master that I want to learn judo. So the master is very amazed that this boy wants to learn judo with one hand, and he starts training him one move. There are many moves in judo. He teaches him one particular move, and he perfects him in that. That boy becomes perfect in that one particular move of judo. And he goes to a competition with that master. He beats the first two opponents easily, and the master is very happy with him. In the third one, there is a difficult opponent, but somehow he beats him. And then comes the final of the tournament. In the final, the opponent is very massive and huge boy, and this boy is very weak and young looking and young. And that opponent is very tough, but somehow, despite being in great danger of getting hurt, he even manages to beat that toughest opponent and wins the tournament. So when they are going back from the tournament with the trophy, the young boy asks the master, he says, now will you teach me one more move at least? He says, you don't need to learn any more moves. He says, in judo, this is the toughest move. You know it, you have perfected it. And the only way in which the opponent can beat you is by pinning down your left arm. And he doesn't have a left arm. Sometimes opportunity comes from reverses and adversity. When we find opportunity and adversity, then we can be successful. Creativity and innovation are also ways to succeed in life. If you have creative thought processes, you lead to innovation, which is absolutely path-breaking. Unless you think differently, life becomes too routinized and dull. So in my book, Finding Success, within the topic of today's webinar also, I have written that a creative lifestyle is a successful lifestyle. A life full of wondering and joy and childlike attitude to life. Often, the saints tell us that children have no fear and no grudges. And they are maybe momentarily, they are feeling bad, they didn't get that toy or somebody hit them or whatever it is, but they don't really carry any grudges or hatred. So we have to again become like that. We lose our innocence, we gain fears and worries, we gain so much negativity as we grow up that success eludes us, creativity eludes us. So to be creative, we have to have a calm, cheerful, positive mind. A creative person can create something out of nothing, can think differently. I was director IT in Chandigarh for many years. I've been to Ryan School in Chandigarh, Pune Man School so many times. And I have enjoyed meeting the teachers and the students there. Even before and after leaving the government service, I have visited and seen the technology-enabled teaching, etc., that you're doing. As director IT, I found that when I was innovative and creative, when I started making e-governance projects, which people did not appreciate initially, e-Sampark came up in Chandigarh, which has been lauded and applauded now. Even a national award came to e-Sampark project. It was because I thought a little differently. I got the support of my superiors, and we were able to implement something path-breaking. So in a life of leave at least one or two innovative, creative ideas and implementation behind, and do things in a different manner. When I left the IAS, I don't want to talk too much about myself, but when I left the IAS, it was also very innovative. It was a creative idea that led to that innovative move. Why? Because I wanted to be a speaker. I wanted to be a motivational speaker. Everybody cannot do that. Everybody should not do that. Somebody else might lead the IAS only for a very specific reason. However, we should do our very best to keep on creating new things in our own system. Whether you are to be a school teacher for 30 years, maybe every year, every class, every chapter, every session, you have a different way of teaching the same topic, different examples, different ways of putting it across, and goodwill generated from the way you are in a classroom will be your success. So I'll talk about a teacher who was standing at a bus stop 10 years after retirement. A young boy and his wife and two children, they go to him and they say, the man says, "Sir, you taught me in school and I really loved your teaching and I felt so inspired by you. I still remember, I kept telling my wife about you. I'm so happy to see you standing here. Can we help you in any way? Will you have a cup of tea?" And the children also touch his feet, the bed. I mean, they are so delighted to see him. Why? Because of the goodwill generated by that teacher in his career. Now 70 years old, 10 years retired, still people remember and recollect. I said before and I'll say it again, respect and goodwill are more important than power and authority. So if you are in a position of authority, people will say yes to you because of that authority. It will not happen from, it will not come from within. It will come from without. Ji sir, yes sir, thank you sir, okay sir, bye sir. Everything will be yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. Yes, Prime Minister, you remember the show. Yes, Minister. Why? Because they are the Prime Minister and the Minister. Let's see where the former Chief Ministers of a particular state are today. People are like that, they forget. However, if you have earned the love and goodwill and respect of people, then that stays with you forever. It will stay even when you're gone. That is how powerful that is. So what we need to do is to really step into a mode which is not routinized, which is not usual, which is well-meaning for society, which is caring and sharing in perspective. And when children of your class or your school or whoever, they are looking up to you, they want to be like you. You know, I was DC Panchkula and I went to a school and I asked them, I said, who wants to be a teacher? And nobody wants to be a teacher in that government school, at least. Policeman, doctor, officer, businessman, yes, nobody teacher. So what to do? How can we make young people want to be teachers? Now, Atul Khosla, he's going to speak again, is a great example of someone who left a corporate career to become a full-time teacher at Shoolini. And he's a co-founder of Shoolini. He's a pro-vice chancellor. He loves his job. And there are very few people who come into teaching because they actually love teaching. Maybe they fall in love with teaching later. It's like an arranged marriage. But it should be that people are coming into the profession because they want to be like you. They want to follow your footsteps. Your students are looking up to you like that. So if you are inspiring, if you are full of beans and full of intelligence and full of creativity, then you will be able to do that. And you'll be able to show people the way. So these are the factors for success. I'll give you 2 or 3 more points from this book. And this is the book called, as I said, Finding Success Within, 52 Life Skills for Young Indians. And it is available on Amazon. It is available elsewhere. You can have a look. It was released in March this year, just before the lockdown. So I found success by releasing it before the lockdown. And I'm sure that if you read it and if you share it with your students, you'll find it useful. They'll find it useful. 2 or 3 points more I'll give you. Seeing the bigger picture is vital and not losing yourself in the moment. However, focusing on the moment is important. So what I mean is, when you are mindful of a particular moment, that means you are paying attention totally to that little moment. Then you can be at your best in that moment. Whatever you do in life is done in one moment or one particular period of time. When you are fully concentrating, you did your best. If you are thinking of the past or thinking of the future all the time, you're not mindful of that moment. However, in that moment we concentrate, we need to keep the bigger perspective in mind. That bigger perspective means that I am aware of why I'm on this planet. The body, mind, and soul are equally important. I cannot say anything, do something which will make people annoyed. I don't want to lose my temper and annoy people by saying something rash. So I see the bigger picture at that time. Meditation, active calmness, which means working on your calmness and trying to self-introspect. Introspect will help you to find your faults, overcome them, and improve your behavior, demeanor, conduct, the way you are. So that is the way to be. And life has to keep on improving. We cannot be deteriorating as over the years. We cannot get worse. We have to get better. Even if we are going up to 100 years of age, we still need to keep getting better all the time in some ways. And that is the approach to life which will really work. So this particular book which I follow for meditation, I've got it here and I will show it to you. It's the autobiography of a yogi. And it is a book that has changed my life, made me a better human being. And meditation has come into my life as a result. It can be from any religion that you are, and you can read your scriptures every day. But meditation, any path that you follow is vital. I follow Kriya Yoga. I find it very, very successful, very amazing. And it is something that will help you to really, really be more calm throughout your day. Anger management will come easily to you. You won't lose your temper so many times. You won't lose your temper so severely. You will have your emotional intelligence with you. One day we'll do a session on emotional intelligence with you all. I think it's a wonderful thing that we have so many schools and teachers involved. So emotional intelligence has to be with you all the time. We are at 3:35 p.m. So I think I'll hand it over to Atul. And Atul will take up some points on finding success within and also show you a video of Shoolini, and then probably we'll move to Q&A. Over to you, Atul.
So Vivek, you spoke about love and arranged marriages. I have to tell you that teaching was my first love. I got lured by a girl who was extremely beautiful and a lot of money, which is the corporate job I did and the corporate life I did. Somewhere along the way, I realized that that's not life. So I divorced her and I got into teaching. But I think that's a bit of the story of Shoolini, because I just wanted to share a bit about my life to all of you teachers. I come from a family of teachers. My dada, dadi, my parents are teachers. And I always wanted to be a teacher, a researcher, a scientist. But like, typical middle class people, I got into the IIT and ended up having a corporate career, did my MBA. But I was never a very successful student in studies. I was a 74, 76% type of a student. But I had some very inspirational teachers in school. So whatever little I did, I think was because of them, because there's a word called fire in the belly, and they would always ignite that fire in the belly, as far as I was concerned, Vivek. A small example, pretty much people laughed when I decided I would like to prepare for the IIT. No one from Himachal ever did that when I was studying in Himachal. So I became the first student ever to clear the JEE from Himachal Pradesh, a big achievement in those days. I did well in life, and 2 IPOs later decided to get into teaching. My belief is very simple, Vivek. Finding success for me is to make many, many amans. Yeah. There is no fun making extraordinary students successful. Even if we don't do anything to them, they will do well in life. The fun is to take ordinary students and make them extraordinary. And I think all of you do that. I do that every day. I aspire to do that every day. And that's really the passion of Shoolini, Vivek. Sometimes I joke, the day we start getting students from the US and the best, most pampered schools of India, it'll be the saddest day of my life, because that's not the reason why I started Shoolini or I spend my days over here. I really, really want to contribute by making the belly of India successful. Students who come from smaller towns, smaller villages, Ludhiana, Pathankot, I don't know, wherever even the Ryan schools are in Punjab, because if these students don't succeed, India will not succeed. A small video with these thoughts, which will give you a bit of a sense about what we're trying to do, if you allow me, Vivek.
Sure, please.
Throughout history, The young have always been the ones to shape the future. And they continue to do so today. You are the country's biggest asset, our best bet to conquer the future. So what are you waiting for? Your time to dream is now. Dream of the research that can change the world. Dream of a high-flying corporate career. Dream of higher studies in the world's best universities. Dream of developing cutting-edge technology of the future. Dream of your own global startup. Shoolini University, we empower you and enable you to chase your dreams and change the world. Shoolini University. Think learning, think success.
Thank you. And before we get into Q&A, Vivek, and we request Poonam to come online, I'd just like to say one thing to our teachers over here. And I say this on every session because I truly believe it. You know, somewhere the media has missed your story, my story. I think you guys are also Corona warriors. In fact, I think you guys are one of the biggest Corona warriors. You're juggling your day in your home. You're all daughters or mothers and daughters-in-law, and you're doing an amazing job in terms of making sure that not a single day of learning is lost. Our youth learns and our youth is inspired every day. So hats off to all of you. I think with these thoughts, I'll hand it over to Vivek for his last 1 minute, and we'll then get into Q&A.
Thank you very much, Atul. In fact, the Shoolini story is truly inspiring, and anything that you read about Shoolini, you must spend some time perhaps later. Maybe the teachers can be invited to the campus. You will enjoy your not only beautiful place, but also very inspirational journey. And how the family has set up the university, as well as how many people have been associated with it. I can tell you that resigning from the IAS and being associated with Shoolini is really something that I have enjoyed doing because it's something that inspires me from within. Atul, I think we have lots of questions, so
I know.
Probably the kind of speech can continue with the answers. So should I take the first one from Amrit?
Please do that, but I'll also request Poonam ma'am to sort of come in now and also pick up questions that she's comfortable taking. But I think the first one was actually Kirti, and I'm very curious because I also have never asked this question to you, and Kirti ma'am is asking.
Yes, that's a very interesting question, Atul. I do agree.
Absolutely, and we have to ask this to Vivek. You know, if you could start all over again, what would you do differently?
Oh, okay.
Vivek,
what will I do differently in life? Okay,
yes.
I would have actually, I think I would have been an English student to start with. I would not have been an engineering student. I would have gone into English literature and English whatever honors. I would have been a writer and a teacher, I guess. But I would have been a cricket player if I could have made it to the cricket team. So that's what I would have done differently.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's one more question from Saina ma'am. Should you, will you pick it up or should I help you, Vivek? Or you'll pick it up on your own?
Atul, yeah.
Yes, so Saina ma'am is asking, she's saying, what is more important, a satisfied life or a successful life?
Success will bring satisfaction. And satisfaction and success are not distinct. Ultimately, happiness is the highest, success is the second, and satisfaction. They're all part of the same column.
Lovely. I think let's go to the Q&A.
So they're not
Vivek.
independent of each other. Like you can't say, okay, fine, I can be successful, but yet not so satisfied. So if you're
No, I don't think
satisfied,
so.
it means that you have had success in your career or in your life.
If you look at the parameters of success that I have given you, then success and
Yes.
satisfaction. Okay.
Yes.
But if you
Yes.
look at world parameters, then somebody is also asking a question. What if you don't love your work, but you are probably successful? I mean, you may not be really into it. However, you're doing reasonably well. You're not satisfied, but you're successful. That doesn't really give you the joy that you want. So satisfaction in that case is very important. Atul?
I so agree, Vivek. Even in hardcore capitalism, the whole theory of happiness has changed and success has changed. There was a time when I was growing up where people would say, if you're successful, you'll be happy. The latest theory, even from Harvard, business management school and the business school of Harvard, it says that happy people are successful. So organizations are spending more and more effort and time to make their people happier because they believe that if their team is happy, they'll end up doing better work. So I think happiness is really, really what's most important because if you're happy, you'll finally achieve that success you want. And if you're unhappy, trust me, if you're not happy in your job, then every day will look like the huge boulder on your head, and you'll never like getting up on Monday morning and going to work.
We need to do a rapid fire, Atul. With the questions we have.
Yeah, Q&A, you want to pick it up, Vivek? Okay. Amrit ma'am is asking a question that we all know money is not that important.
Pick it up.
Yeah, why don't you pick it up, right?
Yeah, money is not that important, but spreading the vibrations, people spread vibrations of inferiority. So they don't seem to be self-actualized. Well, Amrit ma'am, very few people in the world can say that they are self-actualized. We are all works in progress. Only some saints and swamis who have left the world, I guess, can say that. But people are all human. We are also human. I mean, we are works in progress. We are not perfect. So we try to do our best. We try to do a fair job of it. We try to spread goodness. We try to find joy in the process. And these may not be practical tips, but if you keep them in mind, they will help you at every step. Next, we take Renu ma'am.
Yeah.
Is it always possible that we enjoy what we do for an earning? So again, no, it's not necessary that you enjoy what you do. You have to, like Atul said, choose a career that you love and you never have to work another day of your life. That is the great saying. So I think you need to align your aspirations with your career as far as possible. You wanted to be a Bollywood actress, but you became a TV star, it's fine. But you wanted to be a Bollywood actress and you became a chartered accountant, it might be very different. So you have to find whatever you're doing to be in tune with what you love as far as possible.
Next, but I think for people who can't change it, Vivek, if you're stuck, you can still find happiness in small little things. I'll give you a small example. You spoke about Bollywood. You wanted to be a Bollywood actor and you ended up becoming a teacher as an example. I mean, you're all actors now, for God's sake, right? I mean, you're speaking into the video all the time. Your audience is not the school children anymore. You've got the dada dadis, nana nanis, and the neighbors, watching your online lectures. So I think there could be happiness if we stretch ourselves beyond, the work we're doing, Vivek. So look at life positively, I would say.
Absolutely. And one ma'am is asking, I've lost her name somewhere. She's saying that what if somebody doesn't believe in
Kalpa,
God?
ma'am.
Kalpa ma'am. Yeah, Kalpa ma'am is saying, what if somebody doesn't believe in God? So if someone doesn't believe in God, even then it is God is there, right? You don't believe in him, he doesn't care. So you have to go through your life as best as you can with all your heart and soul. If you believe in the soul, put your self into whatever you do and earn goodwill out of good-natured work. That is good enough. And by, I think you'll meet God somewhere along wherever you are. I don't think you mean yourself. I think you mean someone else, but whoever it is, God will find him. Can I take Kulpreet ma'am, your tips for becoming a motivational speaker? So motivation is something which you have to have from within first. If you are motivated, inspired kind of person, you just go and talk about your life and you will become a great motivational speaker, in the sense that what are your learnings, what are your fears, how do you overcome them. And becoming a speaker part is a different ball game, which Atul and I speak on many times. Atul will tell you Atul, why don't you tell them the story of how you became a better speaker?
I think we're in right now talking about frameworks. So I'll leave a 3P framework for you, Kulpreet ma'am. If you really want to be a great speaker, the three things you'll need is: first P is practice, second P is practice, and the third P is also practice. I can tell you my story. I come from a small town. I grew up in Himachal. When I went to IIT Kanpur, I couldn't speak a word of English. I was lucky. I got friends who were not from North India. I had a roommate who came from Chennai. So all I could do was speak English to communicate with him. So I learned how to speak a bit. When I started working, 3 months into my job, I was pretty much told I will not succeed. My boss told me that you just don't have the skills to succeed in consulting. Now, McKinsey, where I started working, had very, very high benchmarks in terms of communication skills. So what did I do? I requested and said that give me a chance. And Tino Puri, my CEO, gave me a chance. His parting words were, I do not see you succeed in consulting for more than 2 years. So Vivek, I bought a camcorder. In those days, we had those camcorders, and I would speak to a camera every day for the next 7 years, 1 hour every day. So I not just passed the 2-year test, I succeeded 20 years in consulting, Vivek. My last job was the CEO of a very large consulting firm, Oliver Wyman, before I got into teaching. And once someone congratulated me saying, Atul, you've got great style. So I built my style and I told my story to him saying, I actually had no style. So you all can do it. I think all of us can do it. We just need that conviction and we need the ability to practice. So I'll suggest, Kulpreet ma'am, because you really want to do it, use this opportunity, use the opportunity of online classes, innovate, be different every time you speak in front of the class. And I'm sure, I think the next webinar should be you leading it. We'll invite you as a panelist.
Absolutely. Ishneet ma'am is asking, is it important to be a great leader or a good follower to be successful? Wherever you are, wherever life has placed you, you have to be successful in whatever role you have. And to be successful, you have to basically work hard with all your passion and keep in mind the fact that you have to enjoy the journey. It doesn't matter whether you're a leader or a follower. The next is Guneet ma'am, who says that people say happiness means more money. Well, if people say that, let them say it. You have to believe from within that if you are comfortable, you have adequate wealth, you have sufficient resources, you need to find other ways to be happy after that. A small car and a big car, the difference is not much. They both go. And the point is, how much greed or lust should we have for money? We have to stop somewhere.
I think, Vivek, with Ubers and Olas now, it anyway doesn't matter which car we own. So yeah, it makes a big difference, right? We anyway get a WagonR when we go with a Uber or Ola.
Absolutely. Jyoti ma'am is asking, what is the best way of self-introspection or self-calming? I would say that you sit down at night before sleeping, just have some quiet moments to yourself. Think, how was I today? Was I angry 3 times, which I should not have been? Did I say something to my husband or children that I should not have said? I don't know whether you're married. I'm sorry if you're not. The point is that you have to understand yourself. Tomorrow you get on to something else and try and improve yourself. So every evening, or at least on a Sunday, introspect and find out how you were and work on your calmness also actively. Then we have...
I think lots of questions which are around inspiration. How do you keep yourself inspired? I'm very tempted to get Poonam ma'am into the discussion because she runs so many schools and such an amazing job she's doing. How do you keep yourself inspired, Poonam ma'am? I mean, so many ups and downs I'm sure you have. I'm sure all the director educations must be troubling you also.
Yeah.
Like you've been director education, right?
No, but then, like Atul and Vivek, I never took them as There were challenges that I had to overcome, or I will have to overcome in my job. And I love my job. I just love it. Whatever I'm doing, whether I'm into administration, or my role as an administrator, or my role as a teacher, or a principal who's maybe, you know, coordinating the effort of, and I must say that I have a great team. So the inspiration comes as Vivek and you have, like, you know, I think we have been to the same thing again and again, that happiness or inspiration has to be found within. You know, nobody is going to hand you over an inspiration. It's not a potion that can be handed over to you. Or happiness as well. You got to find it within. I'm not happy with my job. I have to find ways that can make me happy. I cannot be grieving. And if suppose, you know, I'm grieving beyond a point, certain, you know, kind of limit, then I might as well leave the job and maybe find something else to work for, like, you know, to be in some other field and area. I think it's time to, you know, leave and go. You have to find your happiness. You have to find your inspiration. As I said, there is no formula for inspiration or happiness. You have to find what inspires you the most.
So Poonam ma'am, I'd like to add one small tip to the teachers here. And this tip was given to me by Sandeep Bakshi. He's the CEO of ICICI Bank and a very dear friend of mine. So Vivek, we were traveling from Solan to Kalka, and he said, you know, Atul, every organization has got these people who will keep on telling you how bad that organization is. Mar gaye, politics, they'll talk negative things. वो तुम्हारी नौकरी तो छुड़वा देते हैं, but खुद जिंदगी भर उसी कंपनी में नौकरी करते हैं.
Absolutely right. You're bang on.
Be away from such people, I would say. Be away from negative people. That's the most important thing.
Absolutely.
Vivek, I'm sure you have lots of stories here.
No, I just have one point actually left because there's not much time to go. I will summarize a lot of the answers in this because I see a lot of questions are how to shun negativity and how to be inspired. Of course, one is very different. I will take that up also quickly. How to convince children not to go to Canada. Canada is something that Punjab loves. And Canada jana is the main this thing that they want to do. So Canada is not bereft of Punjabis and not going to be ever. The point is that you have to think differently for your children to think differently. They have to follow your example. If you are convinced that I want to be in my home, I want to serve the nation here, or I want to go to Canada and come back in 2 years, that is something that can still be tried. However, happiness in India, let me tell you, will be greater in my view. But quickly coming to the negativity and inspiration part, shun negativity and move toward inspiration is the same move. It's not like you have to do two different things. If you move towards inspiration, you are working away from negativity at the same time. When you're moving towards the sun, you're moving away from darkness. So you have to basically work towards positivity, and negativity goes out of the window anyway. How do you do that? You determine to yourself that today I will make an effort to not say those things which I normally say to my so-and-so. I will not do that. So try and control yourself a couple of times. It will work. That is the anonymous attendee answer I was giving. And that I think, Atul, we can probably write them by email later because there's so many questions.
I'm tempted to tell a small story, Vivek, if you allow me.
I think so, yes.
Right. So Amit is, he made a point of, you know, the old tortoise versus rabbit story. So Javed Akhtar ji, I've sort of got to know him over the years. So उन्होंने एक बहुत interesting story सुनाई. पहले ज़माने में tortoise and rabbit की story कैसे होती थी आप सभी जानते हैं. The tortoise, rabbit start and the tortoise wins, right? So New Age story, that was his version. He said, you know, the same thing happens. The rabbit sleeps and the tortoise says, wow, I won. The rabbit looks at him and says, what are you talking about? Race to mere baap ne start ki thi. So anyway, it was so lovely, I think, talking to all of you. We'd love to hear last thoughts from Poonam ma'am, and then we'll get back to, I think, all the answers later in the day.
Yeah. The feeling is mutual. Likewise, Atul and Vivek, it was absolutely a wonderful session. And I don't want to speak much because the teachers generally, they keep listening to me. I keep talking to them. So it was nice that they listened to you, and I see so many questions coming from them. So they were quite happy attending the session, and I think they have really have had a very, very wonderful session. Inspiring, full of positivity, moving away from negativity, and how automatically we shun negativity or leave it behind when we move toward positives in our lives. Thank you so much, Vivek and Atul. Thank you.
Thank you, Poonam
Thank you
ma'am.
enough.
Well, you're just being very gracious. Thank you, and thank you,
Yeah.
Vivek. Thank you. You know, I can say
No,
that
I'm being very truthful. I'm not gracious only. I'm being truthful.
I'm blushing. Thank you.
I have written down my email ID and my social media contact on the chat. Although it's going up because of the thank yous are coming in hundreds, so I can't see it now. But I've written it there. Please find it and contact me with your questions if you have. Otherwise, Shikha ma'am, I think, will get them for us.
Right. So, Shikha, if you could also write the Shoolini website address over there, I'll appreciate.
But we can also invite them to join at 4:30, Atul, or 4:30, Poonam ma'am.
That's right. I think, Poonam,
Yes.
you're there, right? Poonam ma'am, you're
Yes,
there?
yes, I'm there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So, once again, thank you, everyone. I can tell the teachers over here, the success of any discussion like this is the energy you get from the audience. And I think Vivek and I and Poonam ma'am, I feel extremely inspired after this session. Despite the fact that we are so far away, I'm getting goose pimples and I'm so excited. So thank you all very much for listening to us. I think once the corona is over, hopefully very soon, we'd love to welcome all of you over to Shoolini ma'am, and Vivek and I would love to come and do some seminars at your school. We'd love to come and talk to all of you, to your students and the teachers and the parents. But what a phenomenal session
likewise.
today.
We would love that. And I think we look forward to sessions here once we exit the lockdown and we are back to school.
Have a great day, everyone, and stay safe. Most important.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.